welcome to Hugh Mayers. Welcome, Hugh. Welcome.
Hey, good morning, Annz. How you doing? You okay?
I'm doing fine, Hugh. Fine. Such a pleasure to have you on the show. Really is.
No, the pleasure's mine. The pleasure's mine. Thanks for inviting me.
Hugh, well, we have a tradition on UK Black Men Talk Show. We check in. So from 1 to 10, we'd like a number of how you're feeling right now. 5 being the middle, and a word or a few words just about how you're feeling right now. I'd
say I'm about a 7. It would be 8 if the sun was shining a bit brighter, right. But I'd say I'm about a 7. And that I think the word I would describe is intrigued, or I'm intrigued, or developing an interest in how this conversation is going to evolve and what it will entail. You never know when you're kind of like co-creating something, this conversation that we're going to co-create together.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm looking forward. I guess I'm looking forward. Anticipation is the word I was looking for. Anticipation.
Right. So, well, Hugh, I like that, co-create. I do like that. Hugh, straight to it. We're going to go through how we see us, what men want women to know, the dating games and dilemmas out there in the grown people dating arena. And also, we're going to have a look at Kevin Samuels, the legacy. Some people say he was a hero. Some people say, no, he was not. He's part of the problem. So we're going to do a topic taster around that. So Hugh, straight to it, how we see us. Now, the black man and the black woman. That headline featured in my project. Conflict, myth or reality. The situation that's happening now with black men and women. We've had men on the show, Hugh, who've shared. A lot of the men are saying similar things with regards to women, men sending messages, and it seems that men are saying similar things. We're talking about black men and women, Hugh, in terms of as a black man and the profession that you're in as well. Now, this whole area of black men and women, people say it's beyond any transformation. It's not going to change. It's going to get worse. Just let us know what your findings are out there with regards to men and women. Is it as bad as some people are saying, the relationship between black men and women? What say you, Hugh? Any thoughts?
It's interesting, really interesting question, because there's something about perception and something about reality, or there's different layers of reality. So in my interacting with people as a professional or just in the personal space, I meet so many people, black people, for example, here in London, who are in long-term committed relationships, married people, variety of ages, having challenges like anybody else in the human family would, or from any other community, having the various challenges that it takes to be committed to somebody and loyal to somebody and dedicated to somebody, right? However, there are some that I meet that are, they've been single for a long time, or they have, there's what do you call it? Kind of like serial monogamous, like every so often they're with one person, but then they're not with that person anymore, they're dating somebody else. There's people that are part of the, hookup crew. But I think that social media, because it's driven by algorithms of what you watch, it will repeat and send you more information along those lines. And so I think that social media would give you the impression that it's only the war zone as well, because I think the people that have got rich relationships that are doing well, they're kind of cracking on. But there's a lot of quote unquote experts, or they're just what do you call conflict points, tension points, fault lines, where it makes for good viewing. And so we can have a good old fashioned Punch and Judy, and we can argue out the arguments of the feminist from the woman's side and modern feminism, or what they think, or the new interpretation of it is. And then we got things like red pill and blue pill and all these other pills that come up in the man space, where, I would highlight that while women have been given a language and ideas through feminism to articulate their discontents, or to kind of like articulate a worldview related to male-female interactions, the male-female dynamic. I think that men haven't been given that as yet. And there are people like Tommy J. Curry, Dr. T.S. Johnson, who are, these kind of like masculine studies and looking at the world from a male perspective, even from a black male perspective. And so that language and that framework is developing, but you sometimes will hear like some hostilities from some of these YouTubers, young men, because I think it's out of frustration of not really having a template in a school of thought to kind of like channel their thoughts or their analysis through. So yeah, I think that's where we see a lot of the conflict and the back and forth.
A lot on the social media. So Hugh, out there in the big wide world, across the board of all ages, to do with men. Now, men seem to be saying that there are changes in women. For example, the whole how you see us. Some men are saying that they are seeing women, for example, professional women. Have you heard this narrative? They see professional women in a particular way. Women as not being up to date, some men say, with the whole dating arena. Some women have sent in messages on this show to say that they're out there trying to date, and they're saying that they think black men are judgmental. Do you hear that? Women saying that men are being judgmental. But men say, hang on, you're the ones that are judging us. And then we have the whole finances. Men are saying women are judging them on finances. So there is a conflict out there. I'm hearing it out there. But I know what you're saying, with social media can distort, can't it? Social media can... Yeah. Your thoughts, Hugh?
Yeah, I would say that I think that men, and obviously I'm going to own my own biases. I'm a man. I'm a heterosexual black man, right? So I'm coming from a cultural framework, related to my sex, related to my age group. So there's all these different demographical factors which are part of my bias. But I've read around, related to research, interact with people from different schools of thought. But I would say that generally we are taught as men to be very sensitive to women's moods, right? And to be aware, because we are the ones that need to initiate, or that's a perception that men generally initiate relationships, initiate commitment, that take the first foot forward. We moved into the digital era, so things have changed a little bit, right? There's or a lot in some respects, but still men are expected to initiate, whether we like it or not. Modern as we are, and as paid and as professional as women are, right? In the heterosexual world, women don't seem built for rejection. Men, you have to suck it up. You learn that. You go to the nightclub, like in the old days when you went to dance. It was men going around and asking for a dance. You got rejected. Your boys might laugh at you. You ended up with a phone number. You was the man on the car drive home.
Yeah, right.
Right. When that was a normal dynamic. And when was the pressure taken off of us? On the anomaly, right? It's a turnaround dance, or it's a lock and key dance. I'm just using these as metaphors so people can understand. Oh, this time the women are gonna come and ask the men for a dance, or to see if their key fits the guy's, if the man's key fits the woman's padlock, so to speak, or the women will ask the men for the dance. But that means that in a culture, the normal, regular, most frequent way of people meeting or conversing, men have to initiate, and so men are more inclined to be, or we're kind of brought up by our elders, or the older men, the older brothers that would school us on, be aware of this, or don't approach a woman that, if it's dark, don't go and walk up behind her to get a number. You're going to scare the life out of it, like certain, how to approach him and how to conduct yourself and stuff like that. Whereas I think maybe women would have been more taught in the past by their mums about how to operate when you are now married, when you're a woman in a relationship, but it wasn't necessarily taught how to approach men. So so men are going to have that more of a motivation to be aware of what women like, what women find displeasurable, what doesn't work, so on and so forth. So that's what's kind of informed my opinion. And also, if I can just extend that point as well, is that when you speak to, I want to say in the modern era now, because I was that whole turnaround dancers, from yesteryear. But if I'm talking about in the modern era now, when you ask or speak to women about, or you watch podcasts or whatever it is, you read the literature about, don't settle, girlfriend, don't settle. You're a 10, right? And he's lucky to have you. And what do you want? I'm not going to settle for a man that's got less education, or he's earning less than me, or at least not equal as me. And there's a shopping list, right, of what women can articulate what they want, and men will be familiar with that, because again, still needing to initiate, still needing to accommodate that, still needing to woo a woman, right? But when it comes to what men might want of a certain standing, then women might be left scratching their. Some women seem like they're left scratching their head, like, well, I don't know, like, I mean, I'm all that. So what else is there? What is there for me to consider, sort of thing? So I think there's a minority of women who are very clued up, very sharp, they've put thought into it. It matters to them. for whatever reason, it matters to them to know what men think, how men feel related to certain issues. So they pursue that, they educate, inform themselves, they learn about those things. But that, I wouldn't say that's the norm. That's not common. I don't think. I think many women will think, as long as I'm attractive, or I'm perceived as attractive by men, I can go into the public space and men, I don't have a problem when I was just on the underground and some guy was trying to talk to me out of my headphones on, or men approach me. So what else do I need to know?